The following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results, and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning, Andy Brownell, News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. This is our Rochester Real Estate program this Saturday. Robin Gwaltney not in the studio. She sent along a member of her vast team, and this time we get to meet Travis Brevig. Morning, Travis.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Glad to finally meet you. I'm doing well, thanks.
Yeah, good.
Well, I guess to start with, maybe introduce yourself, Travis. Where are you from?
Sure. So I grew up in Rochester.
Okay.
I grew up in Country Club Manor, just down from the Manor Water Tower on 2nd Street. And then I went to Harriet Bishop, John Adams, graduated from John Marshall, and then headed up to the cities and went to the U of M. So I went there for 4 years, graduated, stayed up there for 3 more years, came back to visit. My sister had just had a baby, so I came back and met my now wife.
Funny how that happens, huh?
Never thought I'd move back to Rochester. But some things bring it back, and actually Rochester's an awesome place to raise a family.
It is.
When I was a kid, there wasn't a ton of things to do, so the city with Minneapolis was, a whole new experience. It was very exciting because there was so many things to do all the time. But as you get older and you start realizing the more important things in life, Rochester's actually a really great community.
You just described the story of so many people who live in this community.
I suppose it's a lot of stories of all different areas, right? You always somehow find your way back home.
Well, I'm a Rochester native myself, and, we always complained when we were growing up here. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. And then when you have your kids, and there's plenty of things for the little ones to do, and it's a safe place for them to live and play. It gives you a lot different perspective. Yeah,
well, and with all the expansion of Rochester and all the things they're doing, they are doing a good job in trying to create more entertainment for the younger people, it seems like. So that's
Well, we didn't have Thursdays downtown when we were growing up.
No, there was a lot of things that we didn't have. So it's nice.
It was a lot smaller town, too.
It was.
You had Judd Hill, though, so you went sledding all the time up there.
Yeah, it was a dangerous hill once it got icy, but it was fun in a fresh snow.
All right, so you had 3 years up at the U of M. I gather you did not have a degree in real estate.
I did not. Just general business management.
Okay. So how did you land in the real estate business?
So I actually, out of my last year of college and then into my first couple of years outside of college, after graduating, I worked for a company that was in Nashville. It was a sales company called Southwestern, and I worked for them for 3 years. I recruited for them, and it was a direct sales, door-to-door, go to another state and work there for a summer.
Wow.
So, obviously you don't care so much for door-to-door and whatnot. Take it for what it is, but you learn a lot of great qualities and things that what you want to do and how you want to be successful and things that are important to you. So I think I took away that more than anything else.
I bet you get some pretty decent communication skills along the way as well.
It helps, yeah. You definitely get a lot of rejections. You learn how to deal with that pretty quick. So that's another aspect in itself. But after that experience, or throughout the experience, I knew I wanted to be in sales. I knew I wanted to be in a position where I could, quote unquote, be your own boss, create your own schedule, really do as much or as little as you want to do, and everything's then on you, and it's not on anybody else. So I kind of like that idea. Growing up in Rochester, I grew up with the Gwaltneys as well. Their son was actually the best man at my wedding.
Oh, yeah.
I've known them. I played football with him. We didn't really know each other well in elementary school, and then we really didn't start hanging out until high school. And then once we got into high school, watching what Robin and Scott did for a living, I was over at their RBC house, we called it, Rochester Better Chance, that they ran.
Sure.
And just got to see them work and see them live and see who they were. And they were very inspiring people to be around. So I guess that kind of always drew me to the thought that I'd get into real estate eventually. Just didn't know when.
I imagine Robin kind of recruited you at some point.
Yeah, she did. She tried to recruit me before selling books, because that's what it was called, right? So we're working with Southwestern. We sold bookstore to door educational products. And when I told her, she was one of the first people I called because I was super excited about it, all the things I was going to gain knowledge and experience. And I told her, and she goes, that's the silliest thing you could do, right? And she goes, you just get into real estate. You'll be better off just getting into real estate out of college. And then so my motive for that first year was to prove her wrong.
Okay.
So I guess that drove me just as much as anything else. But,
First bad move, right?
Yeah.
Try to prove Robin wrong.
Well, and it actually went really well. You know, I had a successful summer, and they had me come back for a couple more years and recruit and stay with them. So it went really well. It was just there was a point where you have to decide to grow up a little bit and get more of a full-time position of really what you want to do. And again, I always kind of thought I'd go back and want to do real estate. When that happened, I didn't know. So just kind of the cards played out right where started settling down, wanting to start a family in the future, in near future, and it was kind of the point where I moved back to Rochester.
Put down roots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned real estate. I mean, prior you mentioned all these attributes that fit real estate, but they also fit a whole bunch of other entrepreneurial type activities. Why real estate specifically?
That's a good question. I actually, when I got out of Southwestern, I looked into a few other companies. I had a couple successful friends up in the cities that did insurance sales with the company, and there was a bunch of ones that I looked at, fundraising companies, and I don't know, I've just have a passion for houses and going into even the thought of going into houses and seeing all the different types of homes. My wife and I also, we do a lot of investment properties, distressed properties. We'll hire out to have renovated and fixed up and resold. So that's been a desire of mine, and I think it's kind of what brought me to real estate. And then a little bit of Robin's negotiating power to steer me towards real estate.
Well, it is. It kind of is the American dream, that idea that you're that piece of real estate and then expanding upon it, what you've done in creating wealth through the ownership of property. Yeah. And a lot of people share that. And
for sure.
That you've pursued it. Anything particular about the real estate business? Any niches in the market that you like to specialize in, perhaps?
Yeah, I guess if there was to have two, there would be, first-time home buyers. I love working with. I'm young. I'm 30 years old, and I like to. It's fun to work with younger people, more outgoing, bubbly. It's a fun, exciting experience to watch someone in their first interaction with purchasing a home, sitting down and going through everything with them and explaining a process, and then helping negotiate them to get the perfect house for what they're looking for. I think it's a very fun, challenging niche, and I enjoy that a lot.
It's funny talking to you and other members of the Gwaltney Group. I'm imagining that when these first-time home buyers come along, you guys all fight for them because you all seem to say that you love the first-time home buyer.
Yeah, well, and everyone. What's nice about real estate, and I mean, all these this type of businesses, not every realtor is meant for every person out there, and so people get an opportunity to choose that person that fits their style, how they want to purchase, and how they want to sell their home, and just who they want to hang out with. It's not that one agent is better than the other. It's they get along with that person more, or they trust in that person more, and that's really what it comes down to.
And I imagine, is that kind of the price range home too that you like to deal with, or when I think of first-time home buyer, I'm thinking on the lower end of the market, but that's not necessarily true anymore either, is it?
No, I mean, a lot of first-time home buyers. I mean, anything under $300. I had a first-time home buyer last year that was in the 500. So it's, I mean, what that number is, it can be all over the board. And what they're looking for is all over the board too. You get those people that want to be under 150. And that's a unique challenge as well, because that's such a hard competitive market.
I bet. Yeah, there's only a handful on or for sale at any given time.
Right. And then, once you get above 3 to 350, it opens it up a little bit for those people, and they can really kind of pick and choose exactly what they want, and they get a little time to think about it, which is nice. Prepping someone for, especially the spring market and summer market, you might have to make a quick decision, and if you're not a person that wants to make a quick decision, it makes it difficult, right? You're going to lose on a few properties, unfortunately, before you realize that the one that you really want, you're going to have to put your best foot forward and just go for it and trust that it's the one.
So if you're a first-time home buyer listening to this, and I'm going to give you, I guess, a chance to sell yourself,
sure.
What would you tell them about yourself that would maybe make them choose you to represent them?
Well, I guess for me, it's I go back to I grew up here. I know the area inside and out. I love the experience of walking someone through it step by step. So, and again, maybe not everyone's meant for everyone, but I do love people who are excited about going to look at houses and getting out there and more of an outgoing couple.
You like that personal touch to it as well, huh?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
So that's one of my niches, and the other one's investment properties. I do a lot with investment properties. People who are, and every investor is different. Some people focus more on cap rates and what they can churn. Other people want, just to build a portfolio, and they're not so concerned about a cap rate, but they want something that's a very sound home that maybe they're not going to make a ton on, but they're going to keep it for 30 years, 50 years, and that's going to be in their portfolio the rest of their life. Some people are focused on single family. Other people are duplexes, fourplexes, eightplexes plus, apartments, that kind of thing. I have had a couple people that come through for commercial side. That's not my forte, so
okay.
I do have good recommendations of people who would do a great job with them.
I know
on the
Scott
commercial
does
side.
some of that.
Yeah, and Scott's great. He's a great resource for commercial, and I have helped a few people with that, but that, again, is not my strong suit.
So you have a wide range of skills, though, when you're dealing with the residential properties.
Yeah, I would say so. Those are the two areas that interest me highly. I do like new construction as well, and I have a couple things going with that. But as far as what I like about real estate, that's my two big things that get me really excited.
All right. Travis Brevig is with us from the Gwaltney Group-RE Results. And we'll be back, talk more with Travis in just a moment on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back, Andy Brownell, News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Travis Brevig from the Gwaltney Group-RE Results with us this morning. Our chance to meet another member of the team, and I pose this question to everybody who comes in here, other than Robin, because it's our group. But well, what is it? What are things that you enjoy about being part of the Gwaltney team?
So I guess there's a lot of things that go into a team in general. Obviously, the relationship that I've had with them over the years growing up that's a big part of why I joined them. I joined them back when they were kind of just developing a team 4.5 years ago.
You've been there almost from the beginning, then.
Yeah, well, they had it kind of going on when they were at Coldwell Banker Burnett, and the team, the whole dynamic of the team and really becoming a large team didn't really get going until a couple of years ago. So there was 5 or 6 of us at that time, and I think besides Robin and Scott, there's only one other person left on the team that was from that original group, myself and then one other person. So it's been fun. It's been fun to see this team grow, and Robin and Scott's passion for real estate and for people and the community, par none of people that I've met that what they do to give back.
I swear there's not a single person in this town who does not know Robin.
I know. You walk anywhere and everyone goes, "Hey, Robin, hey, Robin." So that's a big part of it, right? So she's got in my opinion, a great name with the community. She does whatever she can to give back. There's people that can go out and be super successful, but you never see them, or you don't see them helping out in other situations where I think she's kind of, you can, if you know her enough to know what she did with the Rochester Better Chance program,
sure,
and with having those kids live with her, and with Scott, both of them, to go through something like that and to be a part of.
They were in that for a long time, too.
A long time, yeah. They had oodles of kids. I want to say probably about 50 kids came through and lived with them at any given point. So just that in itself shows you the character of the people that that we're working with.
I know it's been brought up by the other team members who've come in to talk with me and introduce themselves to our audience that they tend to brag up your administrative staff.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. That's another side of things.
Because that's kind of unusual. I mean, in the real estate business, to have that kind of a support mechanism in place is a little bit unusual, I think.
Absolutely. And, it kind of goes unseen, right? It's kind of like the unsung hero, right? They're standing behind the scenes, not really getting the glory, but taking a lot of the brunt in some situations. And, once a contract gets underway and we're working on getting it to title and lender, that all falls on the admin staff and making sure things are done properly. It's quite impressive. And it's the only thing I've really experienced. If I went off and tried to do something on my own, I wouldn't even know where to start. I'd be like, okay, I got this sign now. Who do I give this to?
What do you mean? There's paperwork?
You're right. We did the front end stuff, but once it gets to that point, that's a not foreign. We see what they do and we know and appreciate everything that they do, but it's a whole other ballgame and a whole other animal that is another advantage of being on the team. We can ensure to our clients that everything is being handled with utmost care and with multiple eyes looking on it at the same time and making sure that things are done right.
You guys seem like a pretty close-knit group, the team.
For sure.
I've heard some pretty wild stories about people going above and above, over expectations to help out other team members.
And I think that, again, kind of stems from, not to keep boasting about the Gwaltneys, but I think a lot of it comes from the leadership, right? All of that kind of gets trickled down, and they've been fortunate to pick a couple great people to be a part of this team, and people that really see it. Almost it seems as they see it as their own, in a way where they take ownership and pride in the work they do, and it's really cool. And it translates to the work and performance of the team. I mean, without those admin staff, we would not be even close to as functioning as efficiently as possible for our people.
Well, it's magical when it works well, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
So I know Robin's huge. Obviously, you mentioned it, into community involvement, and I know she encourages everybody who's on her team to be out there and partake. Is there any particular activity or group or community interest that you like to focus your time on?
Yeah, I do a lot with our different group organization led. Like, our team does a lot of sponsoring for different events, so I like to try to be a part of those and help out as much as possible. I just got a call from someone that's a part of the Thrive program with John Marshall, mentoring senior students. So that's just something that kind of came to my attention, and had a conversation last week about joining and helping mentor younger kids, and I think that would be a huge passion of mine that I would love to do. So I think that's the second Tuesday of every month is the time commitment, so it's really not that much, and it'll probably end up being more than that, but I think that would be a good place to start. I guess for me, it's been, as of lately, we have a 15-month-old daughter, so that's kind of taking precedence along with business. So, and we're trying to do the whole no daycare thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, okay. I guess probably haven't done a lot of separate group things other than what we do with the team.
Well, that's pretty expansive alone there.
Yeah, we do a bunch, with the Thursdays and the Fall Festival and different things of that nature, and then just all the little things that come up, events that come up, and it fills up the calendar pretty quick.
So 15-month-old, huh?
Yep.
Those are fun times.
Yeah, she's good. She's growing fast.
Well, Travis Brevig is with us today. It's our usual Robin Gwaltney program, but Robin not with us today, and we're meeting another member of her group, and we'll talk more with Travis in just a few seconds on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning. Welcome back. Andy Brownell, News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM with Travis Brevig from the Gwaltney Group-RE Results. Travis, I wanted to come back to something I heard when we talked earlier. You mentioned one of your niches is new construction. Mm-hmm. And of all the team members, I know they probably all kind of dabble in that, but you placed a bit of emphasis on that. That's something you like to work on. Maybe What's it like to sell newly constructed homes or be involved in that aspect of it? Because it's probably completely different than selling existing homes.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, it's fun to watch. So for one, there's the side of working with the client and helping them pick out the fixtures and the style of everything that's going to fit into their lifestyle. So helping tweak a plan or tweak something. And this would be something that's a pre-sold, right? So they're actually picking how big their bedrooms are, what their kitchen looks like, all the different finishings. And that's a very fun process, exciting process. But it can be overwhelming.
Yeah, it's good to have somebody with you doing that, that's for sure.
Yeah, so just helping come up with different ideas of things they might not consider when building the home. Sometimes you see people that have built a home that they think they love and it's perfect for them, and they get in there and 6 months later they're like, why did I put the laundry here, or why is the kitchen not bigger, or why is this not this, right?
Oh yeah.
So there's a big side of that, and then we also I have a builder that I work really close with. His name's Kenny Hansen. He works pro-built homes, builds a beautiful home. He does a great job. He's got one on the market right now in Northeast and Century Ridge, 1680 Century Ridge Lane Northeast. Beautiful example of his craftsmanship, his attention to detail, and how well he can construct a home. He's a man. He grew up, started a business, sheetrocking company, Hansen Drywall, HD Drywall. His sons have that now, and he's kind of grown through and done that most of his life. And now in the last 5 to 7 years, he's started pro-built homes and hasn't done a ton. He's more or less, I would consider, partially retired.
I don't know how you do that.
He just really enjoys. He enjoys the process. He really truly enjoys that, like me, right? Which is kind of, it's fun to partner yourself or be close to someone like that, because they care about the whole process and care about putting out a good quality product for people. And he really, I think, likes just the part of staying busy, staying interacted with the different subcontractors. We have his new listing in Northeast, or his not new listing, but his listing in Northeast, the new construction, and then he also has an 8-plex he's constructing for us right now in Northwest, Weatherstone on Supala Court.
So that's an investment property there you're talking about.
Yeah, so that one will actually be sold off individually townhomed.
Oh, really?
So there will be 8 separate townhomes. The outside units will be 3-bed, 3-bath, 2.5 bath, about 2,000 square feet, main level and an upstairs with a 2-stall garage. And then the inside units will be about 1,400 square feet.
They're all sold?
Nope. They're
going to go on the market.
They're going to go on the market,
okay,
yeah.
So there you go. If you're looking for that kind of home to live in.
Yeah, under 250.
Travis.
So they'll be, anywhere from 215 to 250.
So the process of a new home being built, how would that work? If I'm a person listening to this and I'm thinking about doing that, I'm going to take the dive and build the home I always, wanted. I call you up on the phone. I go,
sure.
Travis, I heard you on the radio. And
yeah. So
how does that process work?
If you're on the side of you want to build a home that is exactly fitting what you want, then we have a meeting and sit down and go through the long list of the necessities and also the desires of what you want in a home, obviously including price point and location.
Yeah, I want it to be 8,000 square feet, but I know it's not going to be 8,000 square feet.
Right. We have to try to keep it somewhat realistic. And there are ways to save, right? There's ways to save in new construction where, you can save on even just fixtures, right? Lighting fixtures, plumbing fixtures, and then flooring, all the different things that, you can spend 4 times, 5 times as much for flooring.
Sure.
But you can get a very similar look or the same look for something that's half the price or a quarter the price. So it just kind of depends, again, what you want for square footage, size, garage stalls, size of lot, that kind of thing. If you're on well and septic, there goes another huge expense right out the window that you have to pay for. And so it's just going through all those different things and really figuring out what's important to you.
So I'm working with you and the builder at the same time, I take it.
So initially it would be a conversation with, he could be with the realtor, it could be with like myself, or it could be with a builder. If it was with me, we'd have a conversation of what they're looking for, right? And where it is, if they have a lot picked out. Some areas are tied to a certain builder. So if it's in a lot that is owned by a builder, then you're working with them. We're doing a new construction with R. Fleming for a client, and they're building out in the country. and they have a great process, systematic on how they do things, and they're going to start digging in about a month. So that'll be that's a process that's going to take a while, where we're going to be visiting all the different areas of what they, again, specifically what they want for fixtures, right?
Yep.
And how they want the look to be. But we've had a long conversation of, well, if you lower it up to the 9, it's going to be this price. But if you can cut back on this, this, and this, we can get it into your price point and still get you that square footage that you want. So again,
I'm having you there. I mean, this is a process I went through 30 years ago.
Sure.
And it wasn't what you're describing. It was, this is your budget. Go find some stuff.
Yeah, and that's everyone's different, right?
Yeah.
Every person is going to guide and help somebody differently. But I like to take a hands-on approach, because at the end of the day, I would hope that in the future I'm going to help them sell it. So I want to help them think about that aspect, as well as, build that good relationship with that family and with that couple or with that person, and really make something that's going to be perfect for what they actually want.
Yeah. Come at the end of the day, big smile on their face, smile on your face, I imagine.
Absolutely.
And hopefully a relationship. Yeah, that sounds great. So we're actually out of time for our day already. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, Travis, at the Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results, and talk about maybe new construction or buying an existing home or even investment property, how do they get a hold of you?
You can email me, Travis at GwaltneyGroup.com. I think that's pretty
easy to remember.
Easy for everyone else. Just first name and then at GwaltneyGroup.com, or 507-272-9059.
All right. Well, very good. Awesome to meet you, Travis.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in today, too. I'm Andy Brownell. Robin Gwaltney back next week for our program on Rochester Real Estate on News Talk 1340, KROC AM at 96.9 FM.